How to study Chibcha history despite Spanish bias. Imagine trying to learn about a culture through stories told by outsiders who might have had their own reasons for changing the story. That's what studying Chibcha history can feel like, because most early accounts come from Spanish colonizers. They often focused on gold, conquest, and the destruction of the Chibcha society, which can make it seem like they were just passive victims. But the truth is much richer and more complex. To get a clearer picture, you need to look beyond these colonial stories. Start by exploring archaeological evidence. Excavations of Chibcha settlements reveal their homes, tools, and religious sites, giving us a real look at how they lived. These findings show their skills in agriculture, goldsmithing, and social organization. Next, listen to the oral traditions passed down by descendants. Many indigenous communities still preserve stories, songs, and rituals that reflected their ancestors' beliefs and practices. These traditions can challenge the simplified Spanish narratives. Study the structure of the Chibcha confederation. Unlike big empires, they were made up of independent chiefdoms led by rulers called zipa and zaque. Knowing this helps us understand their political system and resistance efforts better. The legend of El Dorado is another example. It originated from Chibcha rituals where a new chief was covered in gold dust and offered treasures at Lake Guatavita. Spanish explorers turned this into stories of vast wealth, but the ritual had spiritual meaning for the Chibcha. When researching, always cross-reference Spanish colonial records with archaeological data and indigenous stories. This helps you see what might have been exaggerated or misunderstood. Modern Latin American scholars often approach Chibcha history with respect for their culture. Their work can provide perspectives that avoid colonial bias and highlight the achievements of the Chibcha people. Finally, remember that many Chibcha traditions, language elements, and cultural practices have survived through the centuries. Recognizing these continuities shows how resilient their culture really was. By combining archaeological evidence, indigenous oral traditions, critical analysis of colonial texts, and contemporary scholarship, you can study Chibcha history in a way that respects their true story and counters the bias left behind by the Spanish. This approach helps us appreciate the richness of their civilization and its lasting influence on the region today.